Jack Miller could not believe his luck. 6 months ago, Earth had joined the Galactic Federation, and now he was going to study at the most famous school in the galaxy. The Galactic Academy accepted students from over 300 planets. Jack was one of only 20 humans chosen to attend. He stood in his small dorm room unpacking his bags. The room was strange, with walls that changed color based on his mood. The bed was too soft and the air smelled like mint. But the strangest thing was how everyone looked at him. The alien students watched him with fear in their many eyes. Some would move to the other side of the hall when he walked by. "It's because you're from Earth," his advisor had explained. To them, you're a Deathworlder. Jack had learned that most aliens came from safe planets. Their worlds had no predators, no extreme weather, and very little danger. Earth, with its earthquakes, storms, and many large animals, was classified as a Class 12 death world. To the aliens, humans were scary creatures who had somehow survived on a planet that should have killed them. Jack was putting away his clothes when someone knocked on his door. He opened it to find Buddy sitting there, tongue hanging out and tail wagging. "There you are," Jack said, letting his golden retriever into the room. "Did you escape from the ship again?" Buddy barked once and jumped up to lick Jack's face. Jack had been worried about leaving his dog behind, but the academy rules said students could bring cultural artifacts from their home planets. After many calls and forms, Jack had convinced the school that Buddy was an important part of Earth culture. "Ambassador Zinn wasn't happy about you running around the ship," Jack told Buddy, scratching behind his ears. "I think you scared him. We need to be on our best behavior here, Buddy." His door chimed again. This time it was a tall blue alien with 4 arms and no hair. Jack recognized her as Vela, his dorm supervisor. "Your companion is causing quite a disturbance," Vela said, her voice coming through the translator with a metallic sound. "Several students have reported a predator loose in the building." "He's not a predator," Jack said. "He's a dog, a pet." Vela's large eyes blinked in confusion. "Pet? This word does not translate well. You mean a captive wild animal?" "No, not captive. Domesticated. Humans have kept dogs as companions for thousands of years. They're bred to be friendly." Vela looked at Buddy with doubt in her eyes. Buddy, sensing her worry, sat down and tilted his head, looking as harmless as possible. "The concept is strange to us," Vela admitted. "On most worlds, intelligent species and other animals do not live together by choice." Jack hadn't thought about how weird it might seem to aliens. Would it help if other students could meet him? Once they see how gentle he is, they might not be so scared. Vela considered this. "Perhaps. But there is a complication. You are not the only human who brought an Earth animal." "Really? Who else?" "Lisa Novak in East Wing has a small furry predator she calls a cat. Peter Sanchez has a legless reptile, and Amy Chen has brought a many-legged creature with venom." Jack smiled. "A cat, a snake, and a spider? That's great. We could introduce them all at once." Vela did not share his excitement. "The administration is concerned. Many species here have never encountered predators of any kind. The concept alone is frightening to them. But none of our pets are dangerous," Jack argued. "They're all domesticated." This word, domesticated, we do not have an equivalent concept. The idea of changing a wild species to live with you is difficult for non-humans to understand. Jack thought for a moment, then had an idea. "What if we make it educational? A presentation about Earth's companion animals. We could explain the history, show how humans and animals work together. It might help everyone understand humans better." Vela's skin changed from blue to a thoughtful purple. The Cultural Exchange Committee might approve this. It would fit with the Academy's mission of sharing different ways of life. Over the next week, Jack met with the other human students and their pets. Lisa's cat Whiskers was a fluffy white Persian who spent most of the meeting sleeping. Peter's ball python Noodle was calm and curious, tasting the air with his tongue. Amy's tarantula Charlotte stayed in her special container, But Amy showed videos of the spider calmly climbing on her hand. They worked together to create a presentation called Companion Species of Earth, A Cultural History. Professor Orion, who taught interspecies relations, agreed to supervise the event. What none of them expected was how much attention their little presentation would get. The announcement spread through the academy faster than light speed. Soon it seemed like every student wanted to attend. The main lecture hall is completely booked, Professor Orion told them, his transparent skin pulsing with surprised colors. Over 500 students have registered, plus faculty members and even some diplomatic representatives. Jack felt nervous. That's a lot more than we expected. Your worlds are very different from ours, the professor explained. Most species evolved on safe planets where cooperation was necessary. Species from dangerous worlds like Earth usually remain aggressive and isolated. The fact that humans formed bonds with other predator species is fascinating to us. The night before the presentation, Jack couldn't sleep. He sat on the floor of his room, Buddy's head in his lap. "This is bigger than we thought, boy," he whispered. "I guess we're not just students anymore. We're like ambassadors for Earth." Buddy looked up at him with trusting brown eyes. Jack realized that these pets were more than just animals they brought from home. They represented something important about humans, their ability to form connections with other species, to find friendship in unexpected places. Tomorrow, they would show the galaxy something about humanity that no diplomatic speech could convey. Buddy drifted to sleep beside him. Jack wondered how the aliens would react. Would they see these pets as strange, scary creatures? Or would they begin to understand the bond that made humans different from other Deathworlders? Tomorrow they would find out. The day of the pet presentation arrived. Jack woke up early, his stomach tight with worry. Buddy sensed his nervousness and put his head on Jack's lap. "Today's the big day, boy," Jack said, petting Buddy's soft golden fur. "We need to show everyone that Earth animals aren't scary." Jack met the other human students in a small room behind the main lecture hall. Lisa was brushing Whiskers, who purred loudly. Peter had Noodle wrapped gently around his arm. Amy was checking on Charlotte in her clear container. "I can't believe how many people signed up to see this," Lisa said. Her voice shook a little. 500 students. Plus teachers and some important diplomats, Peter added. "No pressure, right?" Professor Orion floated into the room. His transparent body glowed with swirling colors. "The hall is full," he said. "Many students are standing because all seats are taken. I've never seen such interest in a cultural presentation." Amy looked through a small window into the lecture hall. "Wow," she whispered. "I've never seen so many different aliens in one place." The room was packed with beings from across the galaxy. Some looked almost human, just with different colored skin or extra limbs. Others were completely different. Creatures that looked like walking plants, floating jellyfish, or piles of shining crystals. Some needed special breathing masks or gravity adjusters to exist in the room. "Remember the plan," Jack said to the others. "We'll start with the history of domestication on Earth. Then we'll introduce each pet one at a time. Lisa goes first with Whiskers, then me with Buddy, then Peter with Noodle, and Amy with Charlotte last. Be prepared for strong reactions," Professor Orion warned. "Many species here have never seen a predator before, even a small one. The concept alone is frightening to them." The professor floated onto the stage. The room went quiet. "Today we have a special cultural presentation," he began. "Our human students will share a unique aspect of Earth society, their tradition of pets, or companion species. Safety measures are in place, and these creatures pose no danger." A nervous murmur spread through the crowd. Jack could see some aliens moving toward the exits just in case. Lisa stepped onto the stage first. She smiled at the crowd, though Jack could tell she was nervous. "On Earth, humans share their homes with many kinds of animals," she explained. "One of the most common is the cat. Cats have lived with humans for about 10,000 years. She showed some pictures on the big screen. Ancient Egyptian cat statues, paintings of cats from different time periods, and modern cats in homes. "This is my cat Whiskers," Lisa said. She opened a small carrier and Whiskers stepped out. The fluffy white cat blinked at the bright lights, then calmly began grooming herself. The reaction was immediate. Several aliens in the front row pushed back their chairs. A small green alien made a high squeaking sound. Many students were talking at once and the translator couldn't keep up with all the languages. "Please remain calm," Professor Orion said, his body flashing soothing blue colors. "The animal is peaceful." Cats were first welcomed into human homes because they hunted mice and rats that ate our food, Lisa explained. Over time, they became companions. They provide comfort and friendship. To show how gentle Whiskers was, Lisa picked her up. Whiskers settled in her arms and started purring loudly. "That sound, purring, means she is happy and relaxed," Lisa said. A brave student with 6 arms and purple skin raised one hand. "It has sharp claws and teeth. Does it attack you?" "No," Lisa said with a smile. "Cats can be playful, but they don't hurt their owners. They're very good at controlling their strength." To demonstrate, she put Whiskers down and took out a small toy, a feather on a string. Whiskers immediately crouched down, wiggled her behind, and pounced on the toy. Many aliens gasped, but then some began to make sounds that the translator identified as laughter. After Lisa's presentation, it was Jack's turn. He walked onto the stage with Buddy following closely behind him. "This is a dog," Jack said. "Dogs were the first animals humans domesticated about 30,000 years ago. They started as wolves, but over many generations they became the friendly animals we know today." The screen showed pictures of different dog breeds: tiny Chihuahuas, huge Great Danes, fluffy Samoyeds, and sleek Greyhounds. "Dogs and humans have a special connection," Jack continued. "They can understand our emotions and many of our words. They've helped us hunt, herd other animals, guard our homes, and even rescue people in danger." Buddy sat calmly beside Jack, looking at the strange audience with friendly curiosity. His tail wagged slowly. "Can it understand you?" asked a tall, plant-like alien whose leaves rustled when it spoke. "Yes, watch this," Jack said. He turned to Buddy. "Sit." Buddy sat. "Lie down." Buddy lay down. "Roll over." Buddy rolled onto his back. Paws in the air. "Shake hands." Buddy sat up and offered his paw to Jack. Each command brought sounds of surprise from the audience. The fear in the room was slowly changing to interest. "Would anyone like to meet Buddy?" Jack asked. There was a long silence. Then, one brave student stood up. It was a blue-skinned alien with 4 arms and antennae. The alien walked slowly to the stage and stood before Buddy. "What should I do?" the alien asked. "Hold out your hand. Any hand. And let him sniff it," Jack said. "That's how dogs say hello." The alien slowly extended one hand. Buddy sniffed it gently, then licked it. The alien jumped back in surprise. "It's okay," Jack said quickly. "That's a dog kiss. It means he likes you." The alien's antenna wiggled in what seemed to be delight. "It's warm and soft." The alien carefully touched Buddy's head. Buddy's tail wagged faster. "He likes that," Jack explained. "The tail wagging means he's happy." Soon, more students were lining up to meet Buddy. The room that had been full of fear was now buzzing with curiosity. Next, Peter introduced Noodle, the ball python. Many aliens were fascinated by how smoothly the snake moved, one serpent-like. Aliens seemed especially interested, slithering closer to get a better look. "Our species evolved differently on my world," the serpent alien said. "We developed arms and technology, but I feel a connection to this creature." Last was Amy with Charlotte the tarantula. To everyone's surprise, the insect-like aliens were the most excited about this presentation. "On our world, creatures with 8 legs are simple-minded," clicked a mantis-like student. "Yet you say this one can recognize you and shows complex behaviors?" "Yes," Amy said. "Spiders are quite intelligent in their way. Charlotte knows me and will climb onto my hand gently." By the end of the presentation, the mood had completely changed. Students crowded around the stage, eager to learn more about Earth's pets. Professor Orion's body glowed with bright, happy colors. I believe, the professor said to the human students, that this presentation may have done more to help others understand humans than any diplomatic meeting so far. As Jack watched Buddy charming a group of alien students, he realized something important. These pets weren't just animals from home. They were bridges between very different worlds. Through them, aliens were seeing humans not just as scary Deathworlders, but as beings capable of forming bonds with other species. It was the beginning of a new understanding. In the days after the pet presentation, things changed for the human students. Jack could no longer walk across campus with Buddy without being stopped by curious aliens. They wanted to pet Buddy, ask questions, or just watch the dog's behavior. The fear that had followed Jack was gone. Now it was replaced by interest and excitement. "Your canine has become quite the celebrity," Professor Orion told Jack one morning. The professor's transparent body glowed with amused yellow patterns. "I've never seen so many students eager to learn about another species." Jack smiled. "Buddy loves the attention. He's always been friendly." "That's what fascinates them most," the professor said. "On many worlds, different species avoid each other. The idea of forming bonds across species is new to them." Lisa had a similar experience with Whiskers. A group of glowing, energy-based aliens had become especially interested in the cat. "They love watching her purr," Lisa explained to Jack. "They say the vibrations create patterns that match their natural communication. It's like music to them." Even Amy's tarantula Charlotte had admirers. Several insect-like aliens had asked special permission to observe her. "They can't believe a spider could be gentle," Amy said. "On their world, similar creatures are just simple hunters. They're amazed that Charlotte recognizes me and behaves differently around humans." Peter and his snake noodle had formed an unexpected friendship with a serpentine alien named Sistil. The alien professor studied evolution on different planets and was fascinated by the similarities and differences between Earth snakes and his own species. "Your planet's evolutionary path created non-sentient snakes," Sistil explained, his forked tongue flicking out between words. "On my world, similar creatures developed intelligence. The comparison is valuable to my research." One afternoon, Jack found a message waiting in his room. The Cultural Exchange Committee wanted to meet with all 4 human students. The message didn't explain why. They gathered in a large meeting room. The committee members sat around a curved table. 6 aliens from different worlds. Their chairperson was a tall, elegant alien with silver skin and eyes that changed color with her mood. "We have been observing the effects of your pet presentation," the chairperson said. "The results were unexpected and quite remarkable." Jack glanced at the other human students, confused. "We don't understand," Lisa said. "We just showed our pets to the class." "You showed much more than that," one committee member said. His body was plant-like, with small flowers blooming across his shoulders. "You demonstrated a type of relationship that many species here had never considered. The concept of domestication is not unknown in the galaxy," another member explained. She had 4 arms and blue fur, but it is rare. Most intelligent species either compete with other animals on their world or ignore them. "Humans seem different," the chairperson continued. "You don't just tolerate other species. You form emotional bonds with them. You care for creatures that are predators themselves. This is unusual." "The committee has a request," she said. "We would like to make your pets part of our cultural exchange program. Other students could learn about human-animal bonds through regular, supervised interactions." Jack wasn't sure what to think. "You mean like having our pets be part of a class?" "More like ambassadors," the plant-like member said. "Many species are now curious about Earth animals and what they can teach us about humans." The 4 students looked at each other. This was much bigger than they had expected. "We would provide special living spaces for your companions," the chairperson added, "and you would receive academic credit for participating." "Can we think about it?" Jack asked. "Of course. Please let us know your decision by the end of the week." Later that evening, the 4 humans met in Jack's room to discuss the offer. Buddy lay at Jack's feet, while Whiskers had claimed the top of a shelf. Noodle was wrapped comfortably around Peter's shoulders, and Charlotte was in her clear container on the desk. "I didn't expect our pets to cause such a stir," Lisa said, petting Whiskers. "But I guess it makes sense. These aliens have never seen anything like them before." "It's more than that," Amy pointed out. "According to Professor Orion, they're changing how aliens see humans. Before, we were just scary Deathworlders to them." Peter nodded. "And now they're starting to understand us better. They see that we can form bonds with other species, not just fight or eat them." "I think we should do it," Jack said. "Having our pets be ambassadors could help humans fit in better at the academy. Plus, Buddy loves meeting new people, or new aliens, I guess." They all agreed. The next day, they told the committee they would participate in the program. The committee wasted no time. They converted a large room near the center of campus into what they called the Earth Companion Center. It had areas for each pet, a climbing tree for Whiskers, a spacious enclosure for Buddy with plenty of toys, a carefully designed habitat for Noodle, and a special terrarium for Charlotte. Students could visit during specific hours, learning about the pets and how humans interacted with them. The human students took turns being there to answer questions and guide interactions. Jack was amazed by how quickly things changed. Aliens who had once avoided humans now sought them out, eager to learn more about Earth and its many species. Some even began researching other Earth animals, asking if humans kept birds, fish, or larger creatures as companions too. One evening, Jack found Vela, his dorm supervisor, at the center. She was watching Buddy play with a ball, her large eyes tracking his movements. "I must admit," she said when she noticed Jack, "I did not understand at first. The idea of living with a predator seemed unwise." "But now?" Jack asked. Vela's skin shifted to a thoughtful purple color. "Now I see something I had not considered. Your relationship with these animals shows a capacity for connection that crosses biological boundaries. It is not what we expected from Deathworlders." Jack knelt down to pet Buddy, who had brought the ball back to him. "On Earth, we've always had to adapt to survive. Making friends is better than making enemies, even with different species. Perhaps that is why humans have been so quick to form relationships with alien species too," Vela said. "You already had practice at home." Jack hadn't thought about it that way before. Maybe Earth's harsh conditions hadn't just made humans tough. They had taught humans to find allies wherever they could, to see potential friends in unexpected places. Word of the Earth Companion Center spread beyond the academy. Soon, diplomatic, representatives and visitors from other worlds began stopping by when they were on campus. The pets had become unofficial ambassadors not just for Earth animals, but for humanity itself. Professor Orion told Jack that several Federation scientists had started researching whether similar bonds might be possible with creatures from their own worlds. "You've sparked something important," the professor said, his body glowing with excited colors. "A new way of thinking about relationships between different species." As Jack watched Buddy charming a group of young alien students, he felt proud. Their simple pets had accomplished what formal diplomatic meetings could not, helping aliens see humans as more than just scary creatures from a dangerous world. They were beings capable of kindness, care, and connection, even with species very different from their own. It was a small step toward a deeper understanding between worlds. 3 months after the Earth Companion Center opened, the Academy announced an important event. The Galactic Federation was holding its annual cultural symposium, and for the first time, it would take place at the Academy. Representatives from all Federation worlds would attend to share knowledge and strengthen connections between different species. Jack was eating lunch with Lisa, Peter, and Amy when Professor Orion floated over to their table. His transparent body glowed with excited purple patterns. "I have wonderful news," the professor said. "The symposium organizers have requested that your pets be featured in the main exhibition hall. They want to showcase the human-animal bond as an example of interspecies harmony." The 4 students looked at each other in surprise. "Our pets? At the Galactic Symposium?" Amy asked. "Isn't that a really big deal?" "Indeed it is." Professor Orion's colors shifted to a pleased blue. The symposium is the most important cultural event in the Federation. Leaders from hundreds of worlds will attend. Jack felt a mixture of pride and worry. Will Buddy and the others be comfortable with so many strange aliens around them? We will create environments similar to the Companion Center, the professor assured them. Your animals have already adapted well to alien presence, and you four will be there to ensure their well-being. The news spread quickly across campus. The Earth pets had become minor celebrities already, but now they were going to be part of a major galactic event. Some alien students even asked for Jack's autograph. The academy buzzed with activity as the symposium approached. Workers transformed the Great Hall into a showcase of cultures from across the galaxy. Each world had a section to display their art, music, food, and unique customs. The Earth section was small compared to older Federation members, but the pets had been given a central location. The organizers had built special areas for each animal that mimicked their natural environments while allowing visitors to observe them safely. On the opening day of the symposium, Jack walked Buddy to their designated spot. The Great Hall was filled with thousands of beings from across the galaxy. Some looked almost human, while others were completely alien, floating gas clouds, crystalline structures, or things Jack couldn't even describe. "This is a lot bigger than our class presentation," Lisa whispered, holding Whiskers in her arms. The cat seemed unfazed by the strange surroundings, purring softly. "Look over there," Peter pointed. "Those are High Council members. They run the entire Federation." Jack saw a group of dignified aliens being escorted through the hall. They wore flowing robes with symbols of their office. Guards walked beside them, alert and watchful. The Earth Pets exhibit opened, and visitors began to arrive. Many had heard about the strange creatures humans kept as companions and wanted to see them for themselves. Jack, Lisa, Peter, and Amy took turns explaining how humans had domesticated various animals over thousands of years. A tall bird-like alien with shimmering feathers approached Jack. She wore the insignia of a Federation scientist. "Fascinating relationship," she said, watching Buddy respond to Jack's commands. "We have studied predator species on many worlds, but rarely do we see them form bonds with other intelligent beings. Dogs are special," Jack explained. "They can read human emotions and understand many of our words. Some scientists think dogs and humans evolved together, each changing to better work with the other." The scientist made notes on a small device. "On your world, did humans domesticate animals because Earth was so dangerous? As a survival strategy?" Jack had never thought about it that way. Maybe at first, wolves, the ancestors of dogs, were good hunters, and humans needed help finding food. But now most pets aren't kept for practical reasons. They're companions, friends. Friends with a different species, the scientist mused. Most beings in the galaxy only form such bonds with their own kind. Yet humans readily connect with creatures very different from yourselves. Throughout the day, Jack noticed something interesting. Many aliens who visited seemed to change their behavior after spending time with the pets. They arrived curious, or nervous, but left with a new understanding. Some even asked if they could return for another visit. During a break, High Chancellor Zorax, one of the most important leaders in the Federation, came to see the Earth exhibit. The tall, elegant alien moved with grace despite her great age. "So these are the famous Earth companions," she said, her translator giving her voice a musical quality. "They have caused quite a stir in diplomatic circles." Jack stood straighter, suddenly nervous. "Yes, Chancellor. This is Buddy, my dog." The Chancellor observed Buddy with keen eyes. "May I?" she asked, extending a slender hand. "Of course," Jack said. "Buddy, say hello." Buddy sat politely and offered his paw to the Chancellor. A murmur ran through the watching crowd. The Chancellor gently took the paw, her face showing surprise. "Remarkable," she said. "He understands." "Dogs are very intelligent," Jack explained. "They've lived with humans for so long that they can read our feelings and intentions." The Chancellor nodded, thoughtfully. "I have been around the galaxy many times, young human, and I have seen countless wonders. But this simple connection between different species, it has special significance." That evening, the human students were invited to attend the symposium's opening ceremony. Usually only faculty and diplomatic representatives would be allowed, but Professor Orion had arranged special permission. During the ceremony, High Chancellor Zorak spoke about the importance of understanding between different species. To Jack's surprise, she mentioned the Earth pets. "Today, I witnessed something that reminded me of the Federation's core purpose," she said to the gathered delegates. "On a world we classified as a dangerous death world, beings evolved who can form bonds with other species. These humans have shown us that connection is possible even across significant biological differences." The Chancellor's gaze found Jack and his friends in the crowd. "Perhaps we can learn from these young Deathworlders. If they can bridge the gap between themselves and non-sentient species, surely we can strengthen our connections with each other." After the ceremony, many diplomats approached the human students, curious about Earth and its many species. Some even expressed interest in visiting the Earth Companion Center when they returned to their homeworlds. Professor Orion found Jack as the evening ended. The professor's body glowed with the brightest colors Jack had ever seen. "Do you understand what happened today?" the professor asked. Jack shook his head. "Not really. We just showed them our pets." "You showed them much more," the professor said. "Many species have viewed humans with fear or suspicion. Your classification as Deathworlders made others expect you to be aggressive, dangerous. But through your relationships with these animals, you've shown a different side of humanity." Jack looked across the hall where Buddy had fallen asleep, exhausted from the day's excitement. The dog who had been his companion since childhood had now become something more, a bridge between Earth and the galaxy. "Sometimes," the professor said softly, "the greatest diplomats are the ones who simply show kindness and connection, without even knowing they're doing it." 6 months after the cultural symposium, the Galactic Academy had changed in ways no one expected. The Earth Companion Center had grown to include more animals. New human students had brought hamsters, rabbits, and even a small parrot. Each animal showed aliens a different aspect of humanity's relationship with Earth creatures. Jack sat on a bench outside the main building, watching students walk by. Buddy lay at his feet, enjoying the warm sun. It was hard to believe this was the same place where aliens had once crossed the path to avoid him. "Thinking deep thoughts?" Lisa asked, sitting down beside him. Whiskers was curled up in a carrier beside her, just remembering how different things were when we first arrived. Jack said, "Remember how scared everyone was of us?" Lisa nodded. "And now look." She pointed to a group of alien students waving at them. "We're the popular kids." It wasn't just at the academy. News about the Earth pets had spread throughout the Federation. Scientists from many worlds had come to study the human-animal bond. Some had even begun exploring whether similar relationships might be possible with creatures from their own planets. Professor Orion floated over to their bench, his body glowing with official-looking gold patterns. "I have news," he said. "The Federation Council has been discussing Earth's classification." Jack sat up straighter. "What do you mean?" "As you know, Earth has been classified as a Class 12 death world since first contact. This classification has affected how other species, few humans," Lisa frowned. "Is that going to change?" "Yes," the professor said, his colors shifting to bright blue. "The Council has created a new classification, Class 12, Adaptive Empathic Death World. It acknowledges both the harsh conditions that shaped human evolution and the unexpected capacity for connection that emerged from it." Jack wasn't sure what to think about this. "Does that actually change anything?" "More than you might expect," the professor explained. "Classifications influence diplomatic protocols, trade agreements, even educational opportunities. The new classification suggests that humans are not just survivors of a dangerous world, but beings with unique social abilities." Lisa's eyes widened. "All because of our pets?" "Your pets were the visible evidence of something the Federation had not fully understood about humans," Professor Orion said. "Your ability to form bonds across species boundaries suggests you might be valuable allies in helping different worlds work together." That afternoon, Jack received a message from the Academy director. He was invited to join a new program called Interspecies Communication and Cooperation. The program would bring together students from different worlds to study how various species could better understand each other. They want Buddy to be part of it too, Jack told his friends later. They think the way dogs and humans communicate might help develop new translation methods for alien species. Peter had received a similar invitation. His work with Noodle had caught the attention of medical researchers. They think studying how snakes sense heat and chemical signals might help create better diagnostic tools, he explained. Amy was already working with a team of xenobiologists fascinated by Charlotte's web building. They say spider silk is teaching them about natural materials that could be used across different environments, she said. Even Lisa and Whiskers had been asked to help with a project studying how cats' purring affected different species. The vibration frequency seemed to have a calming effect on several alien physiologies. A week later, Jack attended the first meeting of the new program. Students from 20 different worlds gathered in a large classroom. Each brought unique perspectives on communication and cooperation. An insect-like student named Zix approached Jack during the break. Buddy was lying quietly beside Jack's chair. I must confess, Zix clicked through his translator. When I first learned humans kept predators as companions, I thought your species must be somewhat insane. Jack laughed. I guess it does seem strange if you're not used to it. But now I understand better, Zix continued. On my homeworld, we never considered forming bonds with other species. We saw them only as resources or threats. But after studying your relationship with this canine, my people have begun exploring connections with flying creatures that help pollinate our food plants. Really? Jack was surprised. You're trying to domesticate them? Not exactly like Earth pets, Zix explained. But we are developing a mutually beneficial relationship. We provide safe nesting spaces, and they help our agriculture. We never considered such cooperation before learning about Earth's history. Similar stories were emerging across the galaxy. The concept of interspecies cooperation was spreading, inspired by humanity's example. Some worlds had begun conservation programs to protect their native wildlife, seeing value in biodiversity they had previously ignored. At the end of the academic year, the Academy held a special ceremony honoring the Earth Companion Center. Chancellor Zorax returned to present an award for outstanding contribution to galactic understanding. When Earth joined the Federation, the Chancellor said, many wondered what a Deathworld species could offer to our peaceful community. Would humans bring aggression? Competition? Instead, you have shown us something unexpected, the importance of forming bonds even with those very different from ourselves. Jack stood on the stage with Buddy beside him. Lisa, Peter, and Amy joined, them with their pets. They accepted the award on behalf of Earth and all its companion animals. After the ceremony, a young alien student approached Jack. The small, mouse-like being looked nervously at Buddy. Is it true that on your world these animals live in your homes? The alien asked. You sleep while they are present? Jack nodded. Buddy sleeps on my bed most nights. The alien's whiskers twitched in amazement. My species has always feared predators. We never imagined living peacefully with them. But seeing your example has made me wonder. Perhaps fear is not the only possible response to difference. As the alien carefully reached out to touch Buddy's fur, Jack realized how much had changed. What had started as a simple class presentation had become something much bigger. A new way of thinking about relationships between different species. That night, Jack sat in his room, Buddy's head resting on his lap. He thought about how strange it was that his ordinary pet dog had helped change galactic politics. Humans had always seen their pets as special, but they had never imagined that the rest of the galaxy would find these relationships so extraordinary. You're a good ambassador, Buddy, Jack said, scratching behind the dog's ears. Buddy's tail thumped happily against the floor. He didn't know he had helped change the galaxy's view of humanity. He was just being a dog, loyal, friendly, and always happy to make new friends no matter what planet they came from. The end.